Downtown, Petco Park, a new beginning, let's go. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Baby said she wanna go to the game. Taught her how to say Padre gang. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Mitchell and Ness with the old school name. All of the homies holler Padre gang. Yeah, that.
And good day, everybody. Welcome to the Padres Giants Talking for Hours pregame show for July 9th, 2022. I'm your host, Ben Fadden. Hopefully, everyone is doing well. Coming off the City Connect debut game yesterday, Padres won that one. Blake Snell, I thought, pitched pretty good. He was tremendous most of the outing. The fourth inning was shaky, but he got out of it. The fifth inning, he gave up that one home run. But I thought for the most part, he pitched really good. And then Nick Martinez came in. Yeah, he made a couple mistakes, but he's been really good out of the bullpen in long relief, in a piggyback role. And, just to start off this pregame show, the Padres got a new guy in the bullpen. Well, not new. He's pitched for the team, obviously, before. But that is Dinelson Lamet. Padres just made the move. Craig Stammen is going on the IL with the shoulder issue. And so they're calling up Lamet, and he will now join a bullpen that is rested because Martinez was the only Padre reliever that had to pitch yesterday. And I can pull up the bullpen chart right now, actually. Lamet, I have him on the bullpen chart. I just updated that. He last pitched in the minors for El Paso on the 6th. So he's had a couple days without pitching in a game. He was seen throwing on the field before Bob Melvin told reporters that he is being activated. From the game logs that I've looked at, he's been pitching pretty well. So I hope that we're going to see a better Dinelson Lamet than the guy that we saw earlier this year, where he was, getting pounded pretty good. And it just didn't feel like he was in a position where he's going to, really help the team and pitch in any situation that was meaningful at all. And that's pretty much what Craig Stammen is right now. He's not really, except that Dodger game this past weekend, but he, before going on this IL today, he wasn't pitching in these high leverage situations. He was filling like the role that Lamet was filling earlier this year. So hopefully, with Lamet coming back up, I know Anthony in the chat here says Lamet's been doing well in AAA. If he can continue that over, then maybe he's becomes a guy that the Padres are comfortable with him pitching the 6th or the 7th inning. The Padres starters usually they go at least 6 innings, so the 6th inning isn't going to be needed. But maybe there's a day where Chris Matt just threw a couple innings the night before, and you have Garcia Rogers for the 8th and the 9th. The starter goes 6 innings, like Manaea or something. Darvish is more, he feels like he can go 7. His last start, he went 6 after giving up those 3 home runs in the first inning, went 6 in the start before that, but then he had a streak of 4 starts where he went at least 7 innings. He went 8 innings on June 13th, so he can give length. But I'm just saying, for any Padres starter, like, that goes 6 innings in any particular start, and it lines up well, maybe the Padres are confident in him going in the 7th inning, where that's not really what happened his first time through here before he was sent down. So that's a little bit of news. I'm sure Padre fans aren't going to be missing Craig Stammen in that bullpen, at least for now. And Bob Melvin said that the shoulder issues kind of been on and off. And so they're just shutting him down, giving him that rest. They felt like it was time to have him just, rest that shoulder and get it back to being healthy. So that's the bullpen situation. Everyone's rested. Martinez is part of the bullpen, but he goes, every like 4 days and pitches some bulk innings, in a piggyback role. 4:15 is the first pitch today. Giants are 41-41. The Padres are 49-36. Padres are in second place in the National League West. I believe they're 6 games back of the Dodgers. The Giants are in third place in the National League West. They are 12.5 games back. So that's a huge gap between the Dodgers in first place and the Giants in third place. So that obviously tells you that it's a two-team race, Padres and Dodgers. And even the Padres, they didn't help themselves last weekend, losing 3 out of 4 to the Dodgers, and the Dodgers keep winning. They're playing the Rockies. They're beating the Rockies when the Padres can't beat them. They're playing the Cubs right now. The Padres took it to the Cubs, especially that one series this year at Wrigley. Um, but yeah, the Dodgers are beating teams that they should beat. The Padres haven't done that, especially against the Rockies this year, a lot of the season. Anthony asks, will Brent Rooker start today? Yes. He is finally going to be unleashed. The Padres are finally allowing him to get some at bats today. And we can go to the lineup here. It is out. With Nola playing, I thought they'd do like they did an opening day and have him lead off, but hey, yesterday worked. Yesterday worked with having Kim lead off. Started off the game with a single, Crony doubled, and then Manny hit the home run. That's a pretty good formula for some early success. Gave Snell that early lead, and it felt like he was really, really comfortable the rest of the way through. So today's lineup, Hassan Kim leading off, Crony's batting second, Manny's batting third, Voit hitting fourth. Alfaro's in there DHing, so no Hosmer. Not at first, not at DH. Love to see that. Nola is catching. Rooker is in left. It'll be his Padres debut. He was called up twice this year, but it was for like 1 or 2 games, and he didn't get an at bat. Grisham's batting eighth. Then Jose Azocar's batting ninth. Matthew Batten not in the lineup. I thought he played pretty well. I know he made that really good defensive play in left field, but to me, he feels more like an infielder. He's not really an outfielder. And when you got Voit playing first, Manny's not going anywhere. You're going to play Kim or Abrams at short and then Crony at second. Batten's not going to start games in the infield really at all. So that's the lineup. Obviously, Brent Rooker making his debut. He had I think I want to say, let me look it up real quick just so I know what I'm talking about here. Rooker had, where is it? That's his major league stats. I want his minor league stats. In El Paso, in 49 games this year, he has a OPS at 997, so almost 1,000. So he's playing really well, at least power wise. Slugging is at 596. He's driven in over 40 runs, 14 bombs, 16 doubles. So he's definitely a power potential. He has that potential to have power for the Padres in this lineup, which is something that Matthew Batten doesn't have, and Jose Azocar doesn't really have. But he's starting because they don't have any other options. Profar's on the 7-day IL with the concussion. Hopefully, he's doing good. The last update we heard yesterday was that he's resting right now. And you got Grisham, Azocar, Rooker, and Batten. I mean, those are your outfielders. Abrams isn't going to touch the outfield right now. Tatis, he is back probably late July or early August. I was at batting practice yesterday, and he started out in center field, catching fly balls, fielding balls that were like singles up the middle, throwing it to third. He has an amazing arm. You already knew that, though. And then he moved in, I think during Padres BP when they were actually hitting, he moved in and played some shortstop. So he's playing both. I would think that they're going to play him in center field. I guess it depends on the Profar situation. Like maybe you could move Grisham to a corner, or maybe they just want Rooker to play there, or Esther Ruiz gets brought up. If Esther Ruiz gets brought up, then he probably plays center. He could play left and right. He's played all 3 outfield positions this year. But if he gets called up, I feel like they'd go Tatis at short. But yeah, that's the situation. You just don't have a whole lot of options. So that's why Batten was starting yesterday. And Rooker, he was in the dugout at the start of the game. I did see that. But he probably just got there. They're not going to start him then. But they're starting him now. Carlos Rodon is a lefty, so Nomar Mazara is not in the lineup. I totally forgot about Nomar's name. I didn't even mention his name in those outfield options. I would like him to face. I'd like him to face lefties. I mean, he came in and faced a lefty last night, came through with a single. Like, I understand what the Padres are doing. They want to give Nomar Mazara, or put him, I should say that. They want to put Nomar Mazara in the best situation that they can. And that best situation is him facing righties. I totally understand that. But he can come through against lefties. Like, he's a better option than Jose Azocar in the outfield. Like, play the guy every day. You're not going to, I've said this so many times, you're not going to know if Nomar Mazara can hit lefties consistently and help you win games when lefties are starting unless you put him in the lineup. Like, try it. He's going to come through more than Jose Azocar is, I think, and Trent Grisham probably on most days. Like, try it. It doesn't hurt, you know? Like, with Brent Rooker playing, I can't really oppose that. Like, we haven't seen him in a Padre uniform yet. So, yeah, feel free. Put him out there when a lefty's on the mound. But putting Zokar out there over Mazara some days, like, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So I don't think the Giants lineup is out. I don't know if we have to go over that too much. It's not on MLB.com, so hold on. I have to go to Twitter to find it. Lamonte Wade Jr. is leading off. Jock Peterson, Wilmer Flores, Brandon Belt, Gonzalez, don't know his first name. Jonathan VR, I think no, it's not VR. It's someone, it's his first name and then his last name's VR. It's not Jonathan VR. I saw it on the Jumbotron yesterday. I don't remember his name, though. Yaz is in center, and then Wins is catching, so no Joey Bart for the Giants. I think he was shaking his hand a little bit last night. Maybe it was a foul tip or something. Alex, no, I am not going to the game. No, whenever you see this background, yeah, I'm at my house. Yeah, whenever I'm at the game, I'll be doing the pregame show from Petco. I like doing that because I like giving you guys kind of the atmosphere and what's going on at Petco. Doing it here and then going to Petco, like, I feel like I'm not, you know, I feel like I'm wasting an opportunity to, go live at Petco. So, no, I am here. I'll be at Petco tomorrow, or at least I plan to be. But I went yesterday, I went Thursday, and then I'll be having the game highlights and all that at Talking Friars on Twitter. I already answered that from Anthony. Yes, Rooker is starting. Luis asks, hey, Ben, Nabil should be back today from the pen. His last game was a complete gem. I think he could pitch today. Yeah, he didn't pitch yesterday. Usually he has a day off between, right? He can pitch back-to-back days. But yeah, I think he could pitch today. Nick Martinez isn't. I think they could use Lamet, right? He hasn't pitched in a few days. And those 17 pitches he threw on the 6th, that was in El Paso, obviously. But those pitches still count because it's not like you cancel out those pitches. Like, it's still on his arm. For Carlos Rodon, the starter for the Giants today, last time out, he went 5 innings, gave up 4 earned runs, and walked 2 against the Diamondbacks. But other than that, I mean, he's been really, really good this year. That was his first time since May 15th, since allowing at least 4 runs. He allowed 8 runs against St. Louis on May 15th. But other than that, those 2 clunkers, and we've seen from Padres starters, like Darvish, he's had a couple clunkers. In terms of earned runs, his clunker was last start, and that Giant start earlier this year, which was complete trash. But with Rodon, I mean, every other start, it's like 6 innings, 7 innings, sometimes 8 innings. This feels like it's going to be a really good pitching matchup, kind of like how Thursday's was with Darvish and Rodon here. A lot of 1 earned run, 2 earned runs, no runs, a lot of that. He's only allowed 3 or more runs 3 times this year, 4 or more runs twice. So he's looking really good this year. He's looking like he's being worth the money that the Giants gave him in the offseason. And then Darvish, yeah, earned runs didn't really that's not a great start. If you're just looking at that from his last start, July 2nd against the Dodgers last Saturday, where he gave up those 3 home runs early in the first inning. But after that, he pitched pretty well. I mean, he ended up still striking out 10 guys, and he didn't walk anyone. You know? If the Padres had some sort of offense, like giving up, I mean, not 5 runs, but let's say he didn't give up, or those other 2 runs that he allowed, there were errors there. Remember, that was the really, really bad defensive game from the Padres. Azokar dropped a ball. Hosmer let one hit the mound. Or was that Sunday? I think that one was Sunday, but you get the point. The defense was not good in that Dodgers series. And so I think the 5 earned runs is a little misleading. If he just allowed those 3 home runs in the first inning, I mean, that's a quality start still. He still went 6 innings, 101 pitches, still threw a lot of strikes. And so I'm definitely not worried about you. And I think he can match Carlos Rodon today, pitch for pitch, really. Am I what to watch for today? I mean, can they score runs early for you, right? Because yesterday they scored runs early for Snell. I'm not saying Snell and Darvish are the same pitcher, but I mean, you can't tell me that a starting pitcher doesn't like having his team score runs early and him go out there for like the second inning and have a 3-0 lead like Snell did last night, especially after Snell had like a 12 pitch first inning or whatever it was, like that gives confidence. That makes the starting pitcher probably relax because there's been a lot of days, a lot of starts from Darvish or any other starter on this staff where they think that they have to be perfect because the offense isn't doing anything. I mean, prime example, Joe Musgrove on Thursday night, he gives up 1 hit and it goes to extra innings because Manny was the only offense that the Padres offense had. He had that 1 solo home run, and then Taylor Rogers doesn't pitch great in the 9th inning, and here you go, a start that was absolutely amazing and showed why Joe Musgrove should be paid any money that he wants. You got 1 run being scored for you, and there was no guarantee that he was going to go away with his team winning that game that night. So score runs early, and Darvish, I think, can settle in there, and that's a great start for the Padres to get the series win tonight. Because remember, they won the first 2 games in this series, so they're going for the series win already. And if they win tonight, then obviously they got the series sweep tomorrow that they can get with, I believe, Mackenzie Gore on the mound. Rooker's Padres debut, obviously him and then Lamet, seeing what they can do. That's something to watch for. Lamet, when would he pitch? Would it be right after Darvish? Probably, if he would get in. I mean, obviously the score would matter. If it's 4-0, maybe they want to put him in then to give him a little bit of a cushion. But look for that. And Brent Rooker, his debut, Padres debut. He's debuted already in the big leagues. He played with the Twins for a couple seasons. I think he was up and down, maybe dealt with some injuries. But see if he can provide any power in this Padres lineup. So those are my what to watch fors. Padre pick. Yesterday I went with Crony because I met him, and I was like, there's no way I'm picking anyone else but Crony. And he went 2 for 5, got his walk-up song back, got his mojo back. If he changes his walk-up song again, come on, man. You like that song. That's your song. Stick to it. You were an all-star last year with the song, and that's setting you up for success. So I'm 50-28 so far this season in my Padre pick. Today I'm going to go with Manny. Yeah, that might be the safe pick, but he's homered in back-to-back games. And I'm trying to pick a guy that I think is going to get a hit, and Manny's the guy. So this just came down. I mean, Bob Melvin already spoke to the media, but I just see this tweet from the Padres. Official account, they just tweeted, Padres have placed Craig Stammen on the 15-day IL retroactive July 6th with right shoulder inflammation, and Dinelson Lamet is being recalled from AAA. We already talked about that, and since it's retroactive to June 6th, or not June, July 6th, excuse me. So I'm just trying to map out here when he'd be able to come off. 1, 2, 3. So he'd be able to come off, I believe, July 22nd. And July 22nd, I think the Padres are in New York to play the Mets. Yeah. That would be so July 22nd would be his first day, or that would be the Padres' first game since the All-Star break at a little after 4 o'clock our time. That game's in New York at Citi Field against the Mets. So I believe that's when he'd be able to come off. I'm sure Padre fans are like, okay, take your time, Craig, because they're not huge fans of him. Whenever he comes in, it's kind of like, okay, we're waving the white flag. This game's over. And I have a little more confidence in Lamet right now than I do with Stammen. Just maybe that's because I'm just looking at Lamet's game logs in the minor leagues, and I know that Stammen. I mean, if he was dealing with a shoulder issue, then maybe that explains a little bit why he's not pitching great. I don't know. He's obviously past his prime. So that's the news. Daybreak Mission says, love the atmosphere pregame shows at Petco. I appreciate that. If you don't already, lapel mic, is that how you pronounce it? A lapel mic could really boost the quality of those videos. I have no idea what that is. Let me look that up. Oh, that looks like it's something that you clip to the phone. Maybe earbuds will work for me. I could try that. I don't know if that works. Yeah, there's usually just the music over it. And that's why I usually keep those pregame shows short anyway. Like, I'm not speaking into a mic like I am right now. I'm not in a quiet, environment. Um, so I keep them short. But like I said earlier, I like to give you guys, that atmosphere at Petco. So it would feel like a lost opportunity if I went live here and then went to Petco and didn't do anything. All right, so 4:15 is the first pitch. It is on Fox. It's not on Valley Sports San Diego. But the good news is we get Don Orsillo. No Mark Grant, but we get Don Orsillo. I believe it's with Eric Karros. Not a huge fan of him, but we get Don. 4:15. We're Don against Darvish. Padres Giants. Padres going for the series win. I'll have the post-game reaction as always after the game at Talking Friars on Twitter for the in-game highlights, and I'll see you guys later. Go Padres.